Hey, hello, everybody. What's up? It is the CBC Wizdumb Hour, number 136 for April 27th, 2021. I'm Steve Witchell in New Orleans.
What's up, everybody? Tony B coming to you from New Jersey. What's happening, Steve?
I don't know. Something on my light. I don't know what to do about this.
Hey, Steve, how's it going? What's up?
I got lighting issues.
Yes, you do.
All right. All right. Uh-oh. I just got a notification. We're having trouble streaming to Facebook. This may be an issue on Facebook's end. It looks like it's not. All right.
You have to get your people on that.
It's it's a StreamYard thing, but it is streaming to the Facebook page and also streaming live to YouTube for the first time this week, but it's having trouble going to the group. So
Jerry, run diagnostics on the stream, please.
Yeah.
Jerry's working on my end.
That's okay. Okay. I can't handle this light thing. I don't know what to do about that.
Wow, that's...
If I move my camera.
I think you're on stage.
I know, but it's just bizarre.
That's bizarre, Steve. How you doing?
Okay, I'm just going to keep waving the whole hour then.
That's fine.
I don't care.
Bobby!
All right, so
Pete,
Facebook user said rock and roll. Facebook user,
rock on,
if you're watching live right now on Facebook or YouTube, in the description, click that link that says to allow StreamYard to show your name. That's all it's going to do is show your name. And this way we can see your name like Chris did here, who said hi.
Chris, hello. How are you?
And some of you, of course, are listening on the podcast, the old audio style, the way we've done it forever. Yes. And if you are and you want to see the video, you can go to the Cover Band Central YouTube channel or the Cover Band Central Facebook page or the Facebook group.
Lots of resources, Steve. Plenty of avenues to find us.
Because we don't want to alienate our original people.
No, we're an equal podcast society here, you know.
Tammy Reese says, hey, she looks like a cartoon character, but she's cute. So,
hey, Tammy.
So that's okay. I need to change.
She looks like a cartoon, but she's cute, so that's okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Remember that one.
It's good.
You kind of look like a cartoon, but that's okay.
You know what? I look like a cartoon character too, and so do you, actually, with that hair.
We should have cartoon characters like in place of our live, broadcasting cameras. Have little like cartoon guys. We could, make different emojis for ourselves.
An avatar, yes. I think that's what Tammy's trying to say.
I like that. Yes, she has an avatar.
Yes.
You have an avatar, Steve?
Somewhere. It might be in my closet. I don't know. Might be in a box somewhere. We're having fun. I'm in a great mood.
Release the avatar, brother.
I'm in a great mood today.
That's good. I'm glad you're in a great mood.
Yeah. I have news that I haven't told you. I have told the CBC audience, but maybe not the people that are watching now or listening. I think it was February 27th of this year. We hit 200,000 followers after almost 7 years or almost 6 years of the group or the page. The page. 7 years? 7 years.
Okay.
Of the page. Almost 7 years. February 27th.
Pete says, yeah, 7.
200,000. On Sunday, which was April 25th.
Yes.
Hit 200.
No. Yeah, 25th. Yep.
Hit 250,000.
Wow. We talked about this last week. So you got 50,000 people since we started doing the podcast live on video. That's incredible.
And 50,000 people in 2 months.
Yeah.
After 7 years getting to 200, I got 50. Boom.
Yeah. That's huge.
It's crazy. It's nuts. The post reach is, look at this. Boom. The post reach. It's like a magic trick.
It is like a magic trick. It's pretty cool. How come it doesn't work for me? Sorry. Can't do it.
But the post reach is nuts, and I showed you last week, and I'll show you the numbers now. It's just it's nuts.
It's pretty incredible.
I'm just going to do that the whole hour. I don't care. Yeah. So huge thanks to everybody that follows the page, and thank you for being part of the Cover Band Central universe. If you're not in the group, come on, join the group.
250, Steve, $250,000. I like it.
But yeah, come on, join the group if you're not in there already. You can just search groups on Facebook and you'll find us. And most importantly, YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel because that's what I'm focusing on now, building up that channel with videos. And that's what YouTube is for. This is for magic. Mark Lorenz says, "Hey guys,
what's
why
up?"
do I do that? That's going to get annoying. I know it is.
He's enjoying the magic show, Steve. Clearly.
I mean, it's kind of funny, but I don't know. Topic. I don't know what Chris Argento said. Topic. Ask the question. Topic. Oh, what are we talking about today? Is what he wants to know.
We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff, Chris.
Yeah. I did want to talk about that because that's a celebration for me.
Yes,
and for us, for our whole Cover Band Central world.
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna touch it now and see if it goes away.
Yeah, chances are probably not.
Yeah.
That's okay, Steve. It's all right. Kind of looks like you're in an ice cave studio. I like it.
It looks like there's
stalactites behind you.
It looks like there's a UFO preparing to beam me up.
Yeah, don't hit your head on that, Steve. It looks very sharp. Do you have a miner's cap with like a light on it that you could wear? That would probably be more authentic and better, suited to your background tonight.
No. I'm just gonna do that. I can't. I can't do it. That's fun.
I know what happened, Steve. The guy that was sitting on the couch behind you is vanished. He got beamed up or something. That's what that light was.
There was nobody there in the first place.
Yeah, Bill was sitting behind you, wasn't he?
Never. Bill's not allowed in the studio anymore.
He's not. See, it was the light again. Bill's beaming back in again. Dude, he heard you. He's not happy about it.
I just do that. Yeah.
So, topic. I have a good a good question to ask, and let's see what people's feedback may be on that.
Let's go.
So, if you're at a gig and you start the song, and someone has misstepped and is derailed, and the song is chugging along, but it's discombobulated. Do you stop the song and start over?
No. God, no.
Keep going, right?
Yes. Unless it's an absolute positive train wreck that cannot be recovered, you just keep going.
Just a thought, topic, question someone had asked me, and I said the same thing. Never stop. Unless it's a complete disaster, like you've put the bass drum beater through the head and you can't continue, or if someone is playing, has the wrong guitar on, or they're in the wrong key, or something is really, really bad. But other than that, you tough it out and you just you forge ahead until everyone gets caught back up to speed, which is usually by 4 or 5 bars in. Because if someone's really off, they just stop for a second, listen to where you are, and then pick right back up again.
Yeah, I've definitely played songs where like a quarter of the song was an absolute nightmare, but somehow things get back on track.
Yeah.
Do I know it's live? What? Mark Loren asked, do I know it's live? Or do you know it's live? I don't know what he's talking about. Like now? We know it's live now.
We're aware that it's
I don't
live.
know what he's saying.
Maybe he's saying live playing situation.
Yes, this is another way to say it. Freddie Diaz says, depends on the gravity of the mishap.
I like that phrasing, Freddie. I like that.
Well put.
Good descriptive adjectives there.
Yes, the gravity of the mishap. If it cannot be salvaged in any way, then you must stop.
You must pull the ripcord and that's it.
Yeah. Pretend that the power went out on stage. Just like start to look around.
Oh man, sorry, got to start over.
That's always fun when the power goes out. That's happened before.
Yeah, and the only guy that can keep playing and has fun and has solo time in the dark?
The drummer.
There you go. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
That's right. Where is it? Come on.
I don't know, man.
I
haven't used it.
Pablo.
That's right.
That's right.
I wasn't prepared.
That's right. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah. So it depends on the gravity of the mishap. I like that. And then, yes. So that brings us to the second part of the question.
Okay.
Is if you find yourself in that situation, correct. What are some very ingenious ways to get yourself out of that predicament or to stop and start again. Like you said, you could pretend like the power went out, except it's only on stage and nothing else went out except the instruments, right? Everyone could just stop and be like, oh man, what's going on? And check stuff and then start over again. Oh, sorry, something happened.
If nobody in the band on stage that is currently involved in playing the song knows where they're at in the song,
yes,
that's when you have to. If nobody, like at least one person, if at least one person knows where you're supposed to be, then they could kind of give you head cues and hand signals or whatever.
Yeah, or even if it's a four-piece and two guys are in and two guys are out, you could still salvage it.
Yeah,
the rhythm section. I always feel like if the drummer it knows where he is and at least one other person in the band is with him, then it can be salvaged.
Right.
As long as you know where the downbeat is, because that's the other thing that's always fun is like, I remember in the past we would play with a sequencer sometimes. So we get this great idea one night to say, hey, so when the part comes right before the little breakdown, we had like a 4-bar little drum breakdown and it went back into the song again. And it was an instrumental. So we're playing along to the sequencer to click track, backing track, because the keyboard player went on tour with another band and we had to finish our tour. So we had sequenced all his keyboard tracks and we played live with a cardboard cutout behind a keyboard, like as a novelty item. But anyway, so we get the great idea. So the guitar player says to me, listen, when that part comes, I'm going to stop the sequencer. You're going to do a drum solo. And then for the last, he's going to stop it like at the 4-bar break-in. And he says, I'm going to hit it and bring it back in. So you'll have 4 bars lead in and we'll bring the band back in again.
Right.
At the end of your solo, give me a nod. He'll hit the thing. The click will come back up in my headphones by itself. I'll count us back in and we'll be on, right?
There you go.
Dude goes off like at a hitch. I come in, give him the little high sign. He hits the thing. It's clicking in my headphones, right on the money. We come back in again. Somehow, when he paused the sequencer, the time clock lost the logic connection to the click. Oh, no. So the music is now on the upbeat. So we come in and the ba, and it's like ba, and everyone's playing, and everything is on the upbeat now. So I'm trying to tell him
that's the worst one, man.
Just move move to the upbeat,
That's the hardest thing to turn around though. Sometimes with when you're in that, I've been in that situation where you have to figure out switch them around.
So you have to count like 1 and 2 and you have to be like 1 and like you have to
one and
the one
2.
again, like hard style, and then just lay onto it. Well, somehow we had attempted that, and myself and the bass player successfully executed that. Now we're back on again. Now as we're playing, the sequencer's drifting off the click. Now it's like it's completely disconnected to where it's just drifting. So that was an occasion where, yes, for the balance of the 2 minutes of that song, the sequencer was shut off and we played it without the keyboards. So instantly it was like something went wrong because of all the big synth sound just vanished. So it was like bah.
Right. I think it's this light over here that's causing the problems.
Oh, you still have your people working on that?
Yeah, my right arm.
Good. But to your point, we did not stop. We forged through.
Yes. And
we just kept going. But it definitely sounded like the gravity of the mishap, like he was saying. It was definitely a 9 out of 10. Like there was definitely something like people were like, like what's going on?
Right.
It wasn't like a little flop. It was a noticeable disaster.
I was in that situation.
Your ice cave's back. There you go. Oh, that's it.
No.
It's still peeking out at the top. Like it's.
I know. I see it
any second, but it's you're keeping it at bay. That's pretty good, Steve. That's the longest it's stayed that way.
Okay. I had a similar experience, which was one of the most embarrassing moments of my life as a musician.
Tell us, Steve.
I will. I was jamming with these guys. I think we were doing covers. I don't think we ever actually played a gig. And we got this opportunity. I probably told you this story before, but it's worth retelling. We got this opportunity to audition for a Janis Joplin off-Broadway thing that was starting up, like a biopic not a biopic, it's a play, but
Okay.
on Janis Joplin, and we got this audition to be the band. So we got together and rehearsed once because we didn't have a lot of lead time.
Now, is this a regular band, or you guys put something together for this?
It was a band I was jamming with already at the time. We were just doing covers, but we didn't have any gigs. We were just jamming, like in the garage, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we got one of the guys in the band knew somebody, and we got this opportunity to audition for this thing. And one of the guys in the band, the drummer, he was a drummer in a tribute band, a Doors tribute band. I don't remember which one. It might have been Soft Parade.
Okay.
Which was the biggest kind of Doors tribute band around that area, northeast, New York, New Jersey area.
Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah. Dominique says, "What's up?" Oh,
what's up?
Preston City Gumbo. And so we get this chance. So we get together and we go over. We only got together once, and we go over like the popular Janis tunes. Piece of My Heart and Bobby McGee.
Sure.
What are the other? There's a couple more. How can I think of the names of the Janis songs?
Those are the only two I really know.
Anyway, and we rehearsed them, but we needed to read charts too. We needed to read the sheet music, and none of us really were very good at reading music, except for the drummer. He was decent at it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going over it with the charts and stuff, and knowing that we're going to go into this and we're going to have to on the fly do different things, like change the key, take out this section, double this section, whatever. And the way
but the chart is written that way, so the drummer has the cheat sheet, and you guys are just going to try to follow along, or you're going to modify on the fly.
No, he's got the charts of the songs, the sheet music.
But they're modified, is what I'm saying.
No, they're not. They're
okay.
They are the way the song is. But we know that we're going into audition, and this music director is going to throw us audibles. We know that going in. He's going to sit there and be like that, watching us, and then say, okay, in bar 2, double this thing, and and he's speaking like he knows sheet music, he knows what he's talking about, and he's expecting us at the rehearsal, at the audition, to just tell what he does, take our little note and do it, and just play it flawlessly.
So are you playing, and he's like, you're in like bar 4, and he's like, bar 9.
No.
Go that way. So you should be soloing.
No. He was very professional. We'd play it, and then he'd say, stop the song and say, okay, start from this section and change this and change this. Now go. And that's what we were expected to do. And we didn't. We weren't able to do it at all.
Meaning what? If he's like double up on that 3rd and 4th bar and then come back in again, you guys, it was just like a train wreck?
Yes. We played through the songs normally. And then he would stop us and then say, okay, play it now in this key and take out this section and do this part in halftime.
Cool.
Like he was throwing shit like that at us, like where we needed to just be like, okay, boom, okay, and do it. This was basically a Broadway play, so you have to go and you have to know your shit. And we just did not at all. I had no clue where I was, and that was that feeling of looking around at the band and seeing that nobody knew where we were in the song.
Yeah.
Because I was relying on the drummer, because I figured, okay, he knows the sheet music. I know the basic structure of the song. If I'm told to change a key, I can transpose pretty easily on bass. So it was just about timing and watching him with that. So I was really just relying on him. I'm like standing there just staring at him, trying to follow along, and it just crashed and burned every time. And it was very embarrassing, because we were in like a professional situation in New York City, in Manhattan. We had to go in and audition for this.
And how long did it last before the guy was like, thank you for your time?
It was not very long. It was 10, 15 minutes tops.
Dude, when I was a kid, I took drum lessons with Sonny Igo, who was a big band legend, and his son, Tommy, big Broadway guy. Um, and the first lesson I took with him, and he said, he was adamant about like you need to know how to read, and you're going to learn how to read and understand charts and how to navigate them. And I never forget that he said to me, he's like, because the place you don't want to find yourself is where you're in one measure and the entire band is somewhere else. He's like, it's not a good place to find yourself,
Oh man, that's funny.
And it always struck me as I always remembered that, you know. And he was great. He was awesome. He was like my first real drum teacher, but he was a world renowned musician, So was very, very good at developing, everything that, as far as from your ear to listening to chops to playing and rudiments and reading and having to chart stuff out and figure out songs and write them out and come back and do them, and it was quite the experience. But yeah, if you're not forced, you know, to read like that on a regular basis, that's the only way you
Oh
get
yeah.
good. So like my father was in a concert band and he was in a parade band and he was in a bunch of different bands. And so he would always say, all right, you're going to come with me to concert band rehearsal tonight and you're going to play timpani or you're going to play snare drum or you're going to play bass drum, because they needed somebody, like someone couldn't make it that week. And, they would pull out the book and it would be, all charts. So you'd be forced to read them. So that whole experience made me at the time a very good reader, as opposed to if I had just done homework and brought it to a lesson, but actually during the week, or on a weekend, if there was a parade, he would say, we need another snare drum to march in the parade. So, it pays $5. You're going to come, you're going to play, and you're going to read. So you would read all these, different pieces of sheet music. And they just always said the same thing. If you get lost or you're not sure, yeah, kind of fake it and look around and see where everyone else is at. And then try to read ahead and look for a cue, maybe, like a stop or some kind of, flurry of something that will like give you a roadmap, like a marker, so then you can
Right.
reacquaint yourself and get back where you're supposed to be,
Right. It is interesting how we're able to intuitively know where we are in a song, especially with the repetitive nature of music, of bridges being the same, choruses being the same. And it's like, it's weird. It's because I notice that once in a while when I'm playing, like I know where I am in the song. I always know where I am in the song, but how do I know where I am in the song? How do I always know where I am? Like, what is in that my brain that is creating that little
yeah.
map?
And I think the challenge is when you're reading sheet music like that, especially to songs that you don't know, you're completely blind. Like if I would go to concert band, like I wouldn't know half the Great Wall of Kiev, I would never have played that, with my cover band, but it's this orchestral piece and you would, not knowing it. And especially when there's like 32 bars of rest, right?
Right,
And
right, right.
you have to make sure that on that, bar 33, you're coming back in again and you're not on bar 31 and, having a drum solo where it's not called for,
Yeah, there's memes out there like that about drummers just sitting there like waiting for 32 bars.
Yeah, yeah. And the best thing is like if you come back in with a crash and you count like and you're
And
wrong
you're
and
off.
you're like it turns around, looks at you like you have 4 measures left, buddy. I don't know where you're at, but you might have miscounted,
Oh, the crash would be the worst
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the wrong
So the
place.
trick was always to replace the 1 with the number of the measure you were at, like 17, 2, 3,
Right,
4,
sure.
18,
18,
2,
2, 3,
3,
4.
4,
Yeah,
and
that's
so on
how
and
I
so
would
forth,
count. That's
Yeah,
how I
you have
learned.
to.
Yeah, that's how I learned to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but some people say, like, after 8, go back to 1, and that's your second set of 8, but I think if you're counting 32 bars, it's best to be, like, 27, 2, 3, 4, 28, you know what I mean? So you're not making that mistake and, like, "Oh, man, is it am I in the
Am I
3rd
the third 8
8?"
or the fourth
Yeah,
8? Right,
3rd 8 or
right.
the 4th 8, like, is this bar 24 or is it 32 coming up? And then you're looking around to see if anyone else is, like, if, like, the clarinet guys are bringing, they're bringing their instruments up or the trumpets, you can see them like they're getting ready. If everyone's just kind of hanging out, sitting there with their stuff on their lap, they're not all of a sudden going to pull it up at the last second, So there's
Mm.
other ways to cheat, um, and you get your stage chops, so to speak, right? Because it's not just about
You're
reading the
learning on the
chart and
job.
playing it, right? You're on the job,
Learning on the job, yeah.
So, I thank my dad for that because it was a great experience when I was a kid of going to
Yeah,
all these
that's
things, weddings and all these different experiences, big bands, and he would always like throw the curveball and be like, "Oh, you kind of know this chart, right? Like you're working on it with Sonny." And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Are you going to play it now?" Now, like in front of all these people, like, I was like 13 years old. Yeah, you could, come on, get up, let's go.
That's frightening.
Yeah, but he would sit behind me and he would tap on my back if I started speeding up or slowing down, like to remind me where the tempo was, because you're all nervous,
Okay.
you're reading the chart, you're not really, there's so many things going on. When you're just thrown into it, you're trying to think about a dozen things,
Yes. And Paul says, good topic. Thinks the old saying rings true. The show must go on.
The show must go on, no matter
Always.
what happens,
Keep the train moving. Keep
Yep.
going. Gotta keep moving.
Because I can remember too, as a kid, we were playing Leapfrog. I'm sure you've heard that song, right? And in the middle it goes and it stops and there's like a drum solo, like midway through the song. And I remember playing and looking at it, and the bass player was like trying to get my attention, and I was looking at him and I was talking, and all of a sudden we're back, and I'm not sure where I am in the chart. So I'm thinking, okay, I know a stop's coming up, and I think we're going to like this first and second ending of the song, but it's really the first part of the drum solo part. So the part comes and it's just like, I'm like, cool, and I'm like, get ready to flip the page, and like the conductor's looking at me like, what are you doing? I remember him being like, I guess that's the end of that song. All right, next piece. Like he was all jammed up, like that. I cut the song short, and I'm like, I'm like 14 years old. Like my mom dropped me off at the gig with the drums in the trunk. You know what I mean? She's gonna pick me up later. Like I'm just like doing the best I can. Sorry. All these guys are like in their 50s and 60s. I'm like this kid in a tuxedo.
Oh man,
but fun, good times.
Sure.
Learning on the job, like you said, you got to get up to speed quick.
Yeah. That's a big one to bounce back from too, from when you were a kid. To not take it so personally and just.
But I didn't. I was just like, sorry, I got lost. What's the next tune?
Right.
Like I would tell you, like my dad thrust me into this gig at the last minute.
Yeah.
I not necessarily was like striving for the gig and tried out for it and was disappointed in my performance.
Right.
I was just holding on for dear life, trying to get through it.
And that is really the best way to learn. You just you have to survive. So go survive. Survive now.
And the pay was tremendous. I think I got a check for $15.
Hey, it's
good
a check.
Stuff.
It's money. It's pay.
Check.
Yeah.
It's bank.
Yeah. Good stuff.
But yeah, so point closing that topic. Yeah. So even with a 4 or 5 piece band, it might be easier to stop or to get people back on track. But if you have a 20 piece big band and everyone's reading charts and people are getting lost, you're not starting over. You know what I mean? Like they're going to have to figure it out because there's just too many pieces,
Well, with a 20 piece band, your odds are much better in people knowing where they're at in the song.
Yeah. Unless one guy, like the rhythm guitar player is in the wrong key and doesn't realize it. And he's just, jamming along like he's in the right spot on the chart, like time-wise, but he's not playing what he should be.
The wrong key is tough. I love the videos where people are playing like just a little bit too far out of tune.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stop laughing at those. Out of tune is funny to me.
Yeah, unless it's part of the storm you're involved in.
Sometimes I'll play out of tune on purpose.
Really?
I'll play some passing tones on my bass.
Yeah, I'll sing off, at off key too sometimes.
I don't do that. I wouldn't do that.
Sure,
that's horrible. No, sing because it's worse when it's bad enough with an instrument, but with vocals, it's.
I always love when you're like end of the night, third set, people are all getting rowdy and hammered, and like if the singer goes out into the audience with a wireless, and people want to sing, and they like turn the mic towards them. And they think they can sing, and they're singing parts that are not even anywhere near close to being what it should be. But they're passionate about it.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Yes. I was just going to.
What do you got, Steve? What do you got?
I neglected to prepare for this, unfortunately, and.
For what you're trying to put up on the screen?
Yeah. And so give me a second to do this because I really need to acknowledge this. And I did not.
Okay, Steve. Well, while you work on that.
And shame on me.
Shame on you, but it's okay, Steve. You're preoccupied. 50,000 new members to the group. Let that be a testament to all of you out there who are thinking about joining Cover Band Central. Get on there. You, your band, or both. Get it going.
That's right. Well said. Okay. So I'll share this. I mentioned it last week or 2 weeks ago. My friend Joey B, drummer in New Jersey, was sick in the hospital with COVID, and last Tuesday, so a week ago today, he passed on. And I just want to.
Sorry to hear that. That was after the show, right?
Right after the show last week, right after we did the podcast last week, I got the call. And this is Joey. That's us playing at the fireside. Here's another picture of him. Joey was a great guy. I played in a band called Bad Habit in New Jersey, and it was the first cover band that I played with after the whole trying to do the original thing. And he was
like he's having trouble with his green screen too.
What do you mean?
He has to keep putting his hand up to get the light to turn on.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Come on, man.
So Joey was kind of the band leader in that first band called Bad Habit, the first cover band that I ever really joined, where it was a cover band and we were doing a cover thing. And
what kind of covers did you do?
We did, rock, classic rock, a lot of the same stuff that I do today, and mostly that, and newer rock too. At the time, it was the early 2000s, late 99, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002. Basically, I played with that band.
So you're playing cutting edge tunes back then that are now considered classic rock.
Yeah, and Joey hired me, and it was at a very pivotal time in my life when things were changing a lot. And Joey hired me for that gig, and he was a really, really super solid drummer, and he would push me to be the best I could be all the time. He was a little tough on me, which I liked. I like a drummer who knows what they're doing and knows how to show some tough love and is driving the train. And he did, but he did it all with love. He was just like such a super nice guy, and his home was always open to everybody that came over. His door was unlocked all the time. And there was the shed outside of his house where we practiced. We had a whole
drum
rehearsal.
Shed.
Yeah, the shed. It was we
called it rehearsal studio.
Yeah, we called it the shed, but it was like a rehearsal studio. It was a big room, and we would go there and just hang out sometimes or jam or whatever. And he was just a great guy. I got to see him in 2019 when I went to Jersey. When I saw you,
right, pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID, 2019, and I got to see Joey, and I gave him a big hug when I saw him, and we jammed that night, and I gave him a big hug when I left. So
was that the night when you went out and saw Vinny Solano?
Vinny Solano. I never saw Vinny Solano.
Yeah, didn't you say you went out when you came to visit me? You went out to some open mic.
Yeah, that wasn't. I don't think Vinny. Oh, he might have been there. Yeah, he was there. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Okay, but Joey was there too because I had called him.
Same night, same place.
Yep, same night, same place. And but Joey passed from COVID, and he'll be missed by many. He was a great guy, and I loved him, and I just wanted to acknowledge that because he was a pivotal part of my whole beginning of playing in cover bands.
Yeah, and another great talent that was, taken from us far too young.
Yeah. So Joey, love you, man. He's a good guy. I heard that a lot of people turned out for his wake the other day. So I think on Sunday. But an upside of this is that my friend Dominic, who's a guitar player in Jersey, might be moving down. He's definitely moving down south. And I told him, you should check out New Orleans because he's an amazing guitar player. And there's a lot of opportunity here right now, dude. So he might be coming in
on the scene.
Yeah, because he was living at Joey's, and that's going to not be a thing anymore.
Oh, right. So he's going to need to find. So he's going to come down. You think he come down by you? Might jam with him?
I hope so.
Cool.
I hope I get to jam with him. Yeah. As far as him living here, there's opportunity. And anybody else watching this, by the way, if you're a musician or you're in the music industry and you're looking for a life change and you're able, New Orleans is the place to go because there is opportunity galore here right now for work. So if you're in the music industry, sound, whatever,
And
just
is
be.
Dominic a full-time player?
No, I think he's been doing sound. He's been engineering bands. Yeah, the studio in the shed. He set up that shed as a
Okay.
recording studio. So that's what he's been doing. But he could play. So, or he wants to play too. He wants to just do something.
And was Joey playing full-time, or was he still playing in any bands or anything?
I don't think so. He had cancer issues too, and I don't think so.
Yeah, don't take your health for granted, man. That's
Right. Cheers to that.
Yeah, definitely. Something important to think about because you can always find another band. You can always, start doing something new. You can always start a new business. You can always bounce back from any adversity as long as you have your health. Without your health, you can't really do anything.
Correct.
So that's the one thing that's probably the most valuable. And as musicians, it's important that we take care of ourselves, because when you're playing full time and you're out late, you know what I mean? Like you said, you want to make sure you exercise, you're eating properly, you're hydrating, and, you're taking care of yourself, you're getting proper rest because, we take for granted, when that we're just always going to be at the top of our game and we're going to be healthy and we're good, and I think there's a lot to be said for that. If you have a mindset of always thinking that you're going to be healthy, you more than likely will be, because you'll attract that to yourself. But at the same time, physically, you have to maintain your abilities and your stamina, so that you can perform. Because as well as I do, you play a bunch of gigs for a couple of months in a row, back to back to back to back, like you were doing with like the 5-nighter. After a couple of months, if you're not prepared for it, it'll beat you down.
Indeed. I'm being very mindful of that now that I'm kind of back in a groove.
Mm-hmm.
But 3 nights is plenty for me. I don't need more than that. 3 nights a week, I'm good. But I got to tell you, I'm having a blast, man. I'm having a blast being back playing, especially being in that room with that band.
Yeah.
With the players that I get to play with. There's a lot of people coming in and subbing a lot.
Yeah, have you locked in a solid drummer yet, or you still got a bunch of different guys?
I believe so. I don't know officially, but we've had the same guy there for most of our run so far. So,
cool.
And he's great. We've used a few different guitar players and now sometimes 2 guitar players without a keyboard player. But I believe we have a keyboard player coming in for May for the whole month. That's what I was told. So, okay. and I was told he's good. I don't know him personally. I've never played with him, which is exciting to me. I always like playing with new people, especially when I hear they're really good.
Yeah, and as long as he's not telling you how good he is, he's probably very good.
Well, it depends how much he tells me that, I guess. If he walks up to me and says, "Hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm really good."
I can't wait to play with you guys. Wait till you hear how good I am. Did I remember going to see bands at Wild Mike's? Remember Wild Mike's?
Yeah. I loved Wild Mike's.
Yeah, Wild Mike's is a great place. I remember going to see a band there. I don't remember the name, but, the band was okay, and the drummer was pretty good. So I want to be complimentary, because we're all brothers together in this musical journey, and the guy's coming up the stage and I said to myself, as I'm walking up to play, because it was like open mic night or something, and we had taking turns, but it was band. So I had our whole band there, and they were like the hosting band, so they would play a couple tunes and then get up. And I remember saying to the guy, "Hey man, you sound really good." And he's like, "Yeah, I know." I just remember being like, "Okay, cool." If I really wanted to be a sarcastic guy, I could have said, "Hey, you sound really good." And you say, "I know." And you say, "Considering you have only been playing for a couple of months." But we don't want to be snarky. So I just kind of laughed it off and was like, "Okay, good for him."
I'm going to say that one time. I got to say that one time in my life.
Oh, so it says you sound really good. You just say, "Yeah, I know."
I know.
Hey, you guys are really cool. Of course we are. Go get me a drink.
See, if you say it in a funny way, it's fine. But if you said it like that, it's just like, yeah, I know.
No, he said it like matter of fact, like, yeah, I know.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Like, not thanks, like, cool. He's just like, yeah, I know.
Hmm.
I remember kind of laughing as I was walking after he said that. I was kind of like, excellent. Yes, let's do this.
Mm.
There's so much humor to be found, Steve, if you look at situations where people are like either like saying something stupid or trying to offend you or getting upset about something. You know what I mean? I've looked at it like from a position of kind of, comedic, like just, don't take it personally and just, marvel at people's ability to say interesting things.
That's the best way to approach life.
Yeah. It's good. You get a lot of interesting kicks out of that, when people like are having conniptions and freaking out and yelling and stuff, and you're just very calm and kind of almost laughing, like, dude, I think I was going to elicit that kind of response out of you. I only asked you a simple question,
Right.
It's all good.
And
Plus, you
why
never know what's going on in that person's life. You don't know if someone has, tragedy in their life or sick person at home or, just some kind of financial hardship. Like, you don't know what people are going through, so you never know the person you're talking to, what, why they're acting the way they're acting.
Yes. Agreed.
But I'm pretty sure when you're 20 years old and you're complimenting a guy and he's telling you, yeah, I know I'm that good, he's just arrogant. I don't think there's any other backstory to why he's talking like that.
Yeah. You learn as you go. That doesn't fly for too long with anybody.
No, what was great was that the band I was playing with at the time was all top players, so we got up and just blew the doors off the place, So it was the unspokenness of, his band was so great, but after we played, he realized that they had to do some work,
Right. Let the music do the talking.
Correct,
Yes.
And be humble, people tell you, they think you're great or the band's great, say, thanks, man, we're trying, I'm glad you enjoyed it, We're trying to do the best we can. It's our job,
Yeah.
And being so full of yourself.
This weekend I had, I think it was on Saturday when we played, a friend Tommy Knapp came out to
Tommy Knapp.
Tommy Knapp, he's a bass player, and he's played at in that room, Famous Store, for a long time, but he hasn't since COVID, I don't believe, anyway. And it was his birthday.
Or he just hasn't played in that room.
He hasn't played in that room, but it was his birthday, and I knew it was his birthday because we were on Facebook, and he came in, and I was happy to see him. And then he got up and played. Like I was like, come play. Because he's a far better bass player than me, and I like listening to him play because and I wanted to get his, like, he was in a good mood. And anybody, like, it's kind of a known thing if you're in that scene in New Orleans, if you're a known musician and you walk into the room and you're watching that band, like on your off night, and you're just there watching your friend's band, it's kind of a given that you're like, oh, we're going to have this person come up on stage.
Sure.
It's because you're family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're being invited up.
Yeah.
So does anyone ever decline? Like they're just not in the mood
to come up and play? Sure. Yeah.
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 Okay.
But usually kind of know. But it was his birthday too, so it's like, all right, get on stage. It's your birthday, come play. So I made sure he got up and played, and played for a few songs, and then we played for a little while longer. And he bought me a drink, and he was still hanging out. And then we had him come up again, and he played 5 songs. So I got a big break.
That's always nice, though, especially if the guy's a good player, to be able to go out front and listen to the band, because you never get to do that,
Yeah, it was cool. I stood everywhere in the club. I went outside. I went across the street to see how it sounded everywhere, and it sounded really good. My bass
across the street. I went down to the club like 5 blocks down to see if I could still hear the band. And
well, it's Bourbon Street, yeah. So that's things are loud.
No, I remember when I was there too. It seemed like at the Swamp, there was that club across the street that had those like the windows that would open to the sidewalk, and the drummer back faces the sidewalk, like the band's facing in. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know what club that is, but I just remember that with those doors being open, when you're in the street, like blocks away, all you hear is snare drum, bop, 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 bop. Because I remember the dude was playing like a piccolo, and it was super loud.
That was probably Razoo, which was across from the swamp.
Yeah.
But there's a couple clubs that are set up like that where the stage is facing in and your back is to the drummer's back is to the street. And that's how Famous Door is too, basically.
Yeah. But Famous Door has windows, not open air.
Correct. But it's still, I mean, there's a lot of
What's up?
There's a lot of open doors and stuff, and the sound, and it's
open
loud.
Doors are good,
and it's loud. So, but it was great. I love hearing other people play, and I told my friend Adam on break, I'm like, Tommy Knapp's putting his energy into my bass because it's a living thing, and Tommy Knapp's a great player, and he was in a great mood, so he's putting this positive energy into my
residual
energy, yes, into my bass. I love seeing people that are better than me. He is definitely better than me, but I love seeing people that are.
Well, that's the thing too. You always want to be inspired by people that are better than you, not jealous or in competition with it. And it's hard to do when you're younger. Like I said, like, for example, that guy, saying how great he was. But if you can get past that, I mean, you shouldn't be intimidated by people that are better than you because you can learn something from them. And it takes a sense of, I think, musical maturity and confidence in your own ability to be able to recognize that, to know that you have 5 drummers. They're all going to be different levels of proficiency, but they're all going to have their own unique thing, So that guy may have blazing chops, but that other guy has a more solid pocket. And this guy just has incredible feel and dynamics. And this guy just has super creative ideas, So you run the gamut. So it's always a question of, are they not necessarily better, or they're just different? You know what I mean? I mean, when you're younger, sure, there's bands that are definitely better than other bands because you're learning how to play your instrument, right? So there's other guys that are just more advanced or more talented, and they just sound better. But as you get older and you start to, broaden your vision, so to speak, musically, and you start to play with, higher caliber of musicians and bands of higher calibers, it's very inspiring to see that that guy's not necessarily better than that guy. It's just different. They're all professional. They all sound really good and polished. They just have their own unique personality,
Yes. Everybody's personality goes into their playing, into their instrument. That's why you can have the same guitar with the same rig. 2 different people are going to make it sound different.
Absolutely.
Because you're being you, as long as you're being genuine.
Well, that's just it. But, if you are being genuine, then typically your personality that you normally have would come out that way, But then again, you also have alter ego guys, because I remember, playing in bands with guys that were real shy and quiet, but when they got on stage, they were like wild men. But then when they came off stage, they were back to this reserved, kind of calm person,
Yeah.
But more often than not, the wild guy is still wild on stage. He usually doesn't work the other way. You don't usually become subdued. Everything can be amplified and elevated once you're in it.
Yeah. I feel more like myself. I don't know. Maybe because I've been doing it for so long. I just feel like I am as me as I can be when I'm playing bass.
Yeah, and that comes from experience, right? And just your confidence in your abilities, and you're comfortable, which is, when you're younger, you have that. It's interesting because when you're young, you have that kind of nervous energy, and you want to do your best, and you want to play the things you practiced, and you're really not thinking. You're thinking about all these things, so you're very focused on your performance, so to speak. But then as you get older, you're not so concerned with that because you're going to play the parts well, and you're going to play your best, and you're more enjoying the experience, but you just don't want to have a complacency that comes across to the crowd, because we've all done it. You've seen bands that just are, they've done it 1,000 times, and it's just, they have no excitement left in them. So they're putting on a show, but you can tell it's not really a genuine, passionate experience,
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely want to really enjoy it if you're going to do it at all. Because it comes through. It's obvious.
Yeah. And like you said, when you get in the zone and you are playing at your best because you're not thinking about it, that is when the magic happens.
Agreed.
But magic can also be, achieved in younger days too, when you have a really good show, or you can still get in the zone. It's just a little bit different, I think, because you're not as experienced. But
yeah,
you know,
you have like the small victories, which have the same vibe as that being in the zone and that magic.
yeah, and I think the younger you are when you're exposed to situations that are demanding of you, kind of like we were talking about earlier when I used to fill in for my dad. By the time I was, 16, 17, 18 and playing in bands in like big, bigger venues and on stages and stuff like that, I was comfortable, because I'd already kind of been through the ringer on, you know, cutting your teeth, so to speak, and getting your legs under you, and then once you're comfortable with that, another level, like you plateau and then you reach another level and then another door opens and then you're in a different environment now, and then as you progress musically and personally and spiritually, you get to another level and then another door opens, right? And then you're in a different zone. So it's just cool to look back and think about, at some point in time we were all that nervous kid on stage hoping we didn't make a mistake, and then it's exciting to see now, as we've grown, that you're at a level that you can enjoy the music and be free to create, and that's really what you strive to get at. So I try to tell all my real young students that, when you make a mistake, you know, either people aren't going to even realize it if you keep going, right? Like if it goes by, and if it's a really disastrous mistake, you'll get through it. But like we've talked about that in the past too. Like, how do you come back from some kind of disaster on stage? Now you need to pick up the pieces and move on, Some people are able to do it like that. Some people, it takes like 3 or 4 songs before they can shake it off, and get back.
Right.
So I think that's an important thing too, is your ability to recover quickly.
Yes, and you learn, and you're talking about levels of achievement, and it never really stops. You never get to a point where it's like, all right, I've reached the highest level.
Oh no, definitely not.
Nothing
There's
is
always
going
something
to
to
improve.
learn,
Yeah, it's you're always having these little victories, these little milestones that you hit, and that never stops. And that's part of the fun of it, and it's part of the magic of it, and it's part of what feels good about playing music. You just become more connected to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm really enjoying. Part of what I'm really enjoying. I'm just really enjoying the whole experience now. That room is the best room on Bourbon Street. It is fun to play there. It's a great, comfortable stage. The sound is killer. I have a wedge right in front of me that's up, elevated. That's hanging there. I got a killer mix there. My bass tone is awesome. And now it's another thing I enjoyed about listening to Tommy play was going out and hearing my bass tone.
Yeah.
And I know it's going to sound a little different with me playing, but still, I know how it sounds on stage with me playing. So I just wanted to hear how it sounded in the room, imagining me playing. And
No, that is definitely. I remember playing a gig at the Revel in Atlantic City, and it was a huge room, giant room, big open floor, tables, and then a whole back seating area. Long story short, they had big pro sound, pro lights. It was a big event. And I remember sound checking the drums, and I remember the sound guy, took like 5 minutes, got everything right, says your monitor good, so everything's good. And then on the talkback mic, he's like, "Do you mind if I come up and play your drums and you go out front and listen to them, because you have to hear this?" And he was a drummer, obviously. And the guy got up, and I switched with him, and I went down into the front to listen to it, and it was like incredible, like the difference in sound, how fat it sounded out front,
Right. Yes. So I'm not going to acknowledge Frank's comments here, but we enjoy playing music. We enjoy talking about playing music, and this is episode 136. So we've been talking about a lot of this stuff, different stuff, and we try to stay topical and also just stuff that's interesting to us.
Yeah, and the topics change as we go.
Do.
You might say something that then it spurs a whole nother conversation in a completely different direction.
All right, Frank. Yes.
It's all about wisdom.
Yes. So anyway,
no format.
I started the thing that we were talking about. I've been talking about the weekly daily video thing. I started this week. I did the first Motivation Monday yesterday.
Excellent.
And Tribute Tuesday today. So,
and you're going to continue for the remainder of the week.
Yes, I have a theme for every day, and it will be going every week. Every week we'll be broadcasting. I'll be broadcasting at 2 p.m. Eastern time, which is 11 a.m. Pacific time. I go live for about 10 minutes and pick a topic each day and talk about it and involve the audience and whatnot. So it's fun.
10 minutes, short and sweet. I like it.
Yes. And I'm doing it like very organic too. I'm live and like warts and all.
Yeah. Just put it out there. Whatever it is. Post it and go.
Yes. It's fun. And so, yeah. Okay.
Stripped down, unlike, the high production quality we have on this show. And I got
Right.
at least half a dozen people here just for, hair and makeup. And then I got another 6 or 8 people running the sound and lighting. There's probably 13, 14 people here right now.
I know they're doing a great job.
I commend them, for dedicating the time to do it. Thank you guys.
Yes.
Good stuff.
So yes. So this upcoming weekend, I am off Friday and Saturday and working Sunday only, which
Nice.
which I'm happy about.
Need a little downtime.
Yeah, but I'm happy to be playing, man. It's great. A lot more people are coming back to work, it seems. Going back to playing gigs, it seems like it's increasing every week. So
now, do you see most of the clubs on Bourbon Street back open again with bands, or slowly but surely?
Yes.
That's good. Because a couple of weeks ago, you said there was really Famous Door and like 2 other clubs having bands. That was it.
Yeah, it's coming back. It's I mean, it was packed, dude. It was Friday night and Saturday night, New Orleans on Bourbon Street in the club. We're playing at Famous Door. The room was jam packed. Not the entire night, but for a good portion of the night.
Yeah, because you still get the turnover.
Just like it used to be, wall to wall people.
Yeah.
No, very few people wearing masks. As far as people here are concerned, it's over. That's it.
That's good.
There's no COVID. That's it. We're fine. And we were still told that we have to wear masks on stage, but it's not very enforced. Like I was told by the manager on Saturday. I was there first, and he said, "Hey, man, just like you got to at least have it on your face, like have it at least by your chin. So if somebody comes in, then you can." Put it up. And I respect it. I'm like, okay. Tracy made us custom masks with the band's name on it.
Cool.
So I have that. So I wore that all night, and I barely put it up, like maybe once or twice. But nobody else in the band did, and it wasn't a thing. So it doesn't matter. It's wall to wall people like that. I mean, come on.
And they have the staff wearing masks, like all the bartenders and the bouncers and people like that, like behind the bar.
The bartenders, the same deal. They have it on their face, and sometimes it's on their thing, and sometimes it's not.
Gotcha.
And
but they have it nonetheless.
Yeah, and the door guys have it on. The door guys keep it. They do keep it on.
But they're not telling people they got to wear a mask if they want to come in.
I don't know. I think. I don't know. I think they might be making sure people at least have masks.
Yeah, at a minimum, at least have one, right?
Yeah. And but it's not being enforced. And they're not counting heads. That's for sure.
And the shower curtains are down.
Yeah, the last one, one came down on Saturday when that manager guy came in. I had just like he was standing near me, and I was there first again, and it was still like. It's still early. There's nobody there, and I'm setting up on stage, and I get up and I see the curtain is still, it's just the one was hanging by me, stage left, facing the door.
One that's been there.
Flimsy dollar store. Now it's stained with shit.
Oh yeah.
Shower curtain is still hanging there. So I looked up at it and I'm just like, all right, screw this. And I started to pull it down. And then he walks over to me, the manager guy, and I'm like, oh shit. And he goes, he hands me the drink tickets, and then he says, yeah, hey man, just so you know, you got to wear the mask, blah, blah, blah. He explained it to me. He was very cool about it. And then I was like, hey, can I take this down? The shower curtain. And he's like, yeah. And he just ripped it. So no more shower curtains on stage.
That's it. Adios, shower curtain.
So that's it.
So what do you do now when the flash dancer part comes with the on stage shower?
I just get wet.
Okay.
Coverbandcentral.com, everybody. You can sign up for a profile for you, your band, or both. It is free. And check us out on YouTube. Subscribe to that channel. I'm going to build up that video channel thing and make it more gooder. Another hour zipped by, my friend.
It goes by quick, Steve.
Yes.
Time flies when you're having fun.
But good stuff. You never know what you're going to get.
You never do.
Hour.
You know?
And tune in next week for episode 137. You won't know what you'll get then either.